Mic's on. What's the next question?
Who's better looking, me or Julius?
I don't know why that's the question, but
Put it in the comments below. Say it's me.
too late to go outside. What's your type?
What?
You like spiritual women? You like the gym type?
You
like the artistic type?
Yeah, autistics. I love autistic women.
That's not going in.
Yes, it is. Please put that in there. Love on the Spectrum, I was bricked up every episode.
On a Tuesday.
Cause like, I'm shallow, I don't know.
So just looks?
Yeah, that's how it starts. Just looks.
That's my dad always told me that's 50%.
50% is wild. I don't think it's 50%.
50%?
It's easy to catch your attention, it's hard to keep it.
So that's why it's 50% because
Food for thought.
you need the looks in order to catch someone's attention from the jump.
That's fair. If I bust my shit, like, share, subscribe.
We're doing it in the grass in case he breaks his neck. The sound that made was funny. Yeah. The air sound.
I used to be able to do it without my hand. Now I feel like one of those kids that'd be like, look what I can do. Change scenery.
What is your all-time goal as Bakari the artist?
All-time goal?
Yep.
Become a household name. I don't want to be a TikTok trend. I want to be a household name. That's why I'm not selling my ideals for clicks. Because if I want to be TikTok famous, I have a couple songs that I feel like if I put up right now, Suicide would TikTok famous like right away. But I'm not selling my ideals and quality of music just for a couple of seconds of popularity. That's not fame. That's like, and this shit sounds so corny. Everybody be saying that shit, but realistically, who are you gonna remember from a couple second skit or like for a little bit? Like that, it's hard to gain actual fan base.
Yeah, you literally have to be like Drewski or like one of them fucking anomaly internet comedians that just like it works every time. In order for people to engage with your TikTok shit.
So for people
or
like
be Keith Lee, I guess.
For like people like Drewski, people tune into shit he's doing. Yeah, he's funny, but people like his personality too. So it's easy.
But he also moved off of Instagram and TikTok, and he's on YouTube. He's on like other platforms now, just as successful. Yeah. So,
but I don't know. I never want to do more than what I intended on. Like I don't want to. Me personally, like music isn't like, oh, I'm just doing music to branch out to do this. Like that's not my.
I'm not gonna say that's what I'm doing, but that's what I'm doing. If that makes sense. Do other things, but I am going to try and like the same.
Tag you're it.
The same grind that I have with like the music shit, I'm trying to do with the other shit successfully. I don't want to have my name in the film industry have anything to do with my name in like the music industry like Donald Glover or like Will Smith or anything like that. I'm trying to be the black A24, but not like Jordan Peele. Shout out Jordan Peele.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Drive Podcast. I'm yours truly, Bakari.
Hidden Jewels.
Hidden Jewels?
Yeah, you said yours truly, Bakari.
I said I'm.
They know who the fuck I am. I got
Hidden Jewels here.
Hidden Jewels here.
What's her name? Something Renee here.
Lindsay Renee here.
Lindsay Renee here. I was gonna say
the Rhythm and Patrol show.
That shit's fire.
It's just a thirst trap. Ain't no way she knows all this music.
It works. There ain't no way she doesn't. The way she talks, this song that she's talking about when she says it.
It'd be excessive.
It'd
be like she wants to fuck the record.
I was like, ooh. It's a nice song.
Shorty.
And it'd be annoying me because I know most of the music. Like, she be acting like it's like hidden gems or like, today we're talking about.
How do you balance your personal life with your professional life? So how do you do it?
Do you believe in keeping personal from professional?
Yes.
Elaborate why.
Because regardless if you try to keep it separate, the people in your personal life, there's going to always be ones that want to be a part of the professional life. And I feel like on both sides of the spectrum, it just creates drama. So like, you're going to have issues with people feeling like you owe them shit, and then you're also going to have people that feel like maybe you're trying to hide them, or like, it might not even be about money, it could just be about clout. And I just feel like it's just best to keep all that shit separate. There's no point.
Personal isn't always permanent. Remember that.
That as well. Whereas like, yeah, professional life, you're creating your own world and ecosystem that you're trying to live in. And the only way that it could really, you know, become not like, how do I word this? The only way that you could really compromise, I feel like, is if your personal life involves people that can be in that world. So if your personal life, you have friends that are also like in the industry and shit like that, creatives, you know, artists, any type of professional, yeah.
I feel like,
but just niggas that sit on the couch.
Hey. When I start something, I feel like that nigga about to say something.
I'm about to smoke this blunt.
Anywho, what's it? I feel like everyone takes offense when you try to keep your personal life private. And they'll be like, oh, you're just using that as an excuse to hide me and blah, 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 blah. Because I hear that all the
But realistically, you're not you're like, okay, so like if things are normal and shit isn't popping yet, you're not posting motherfuckers anyway. So what's like, you want me to start doing it because I have a following? That doesn't make sense to me. That just sounds like they want clout. That's what I mean. So it's just like, best to keep that shit separate. Keep everybody, not everybody's gonna be happy, but they're gonna be happier that way than, let's say like you let someone in on the professional life and then they embarrass you or they just like fuck up and, you know, make you look bad. That's another thing. They're a liability. And then now it's like, now you can't be a part of this, and now they feel like, well damn, why would you let me get a glimpse into something and then just try and take it away from me? So there's that. Another reason why you should keep it separate.
What if they already want to be a part of your...
If they're down for like the journey, then that's a whole different story. But most people aren't. Most people aren't gonna...
Let's be more specific.
All right.
Women. Right now. Don't laugh. I'm dead ass. Women. For example. If I'm in a relationship and that person, that partner, it's not necessarily insecurity, but they want to be seen. They want to be able to show you off. They want to be able to be seen with you, blah, blah, blah. So when they want to be seen, they start feeling like, oh, he's hiding me so that he can go do this, or he's hiding me so that people don't know he's in a relationship. I have no problem saying if I'm in a relationship or not. I just don't want to
That doesn't even
shine light on who I'm affiliated with or associated with, because anybody can go message someone just to fuck up what you got going on out of spite, out of jealousy, out of
planning for the future.
In general, like anything, anyway.
I mean, planning for the future, like somebody's like, oh, I want that nigga.
Yeah.
So then they ruin whatever you have going on without you knowing, and then they...
And I don't want people thinking, oh, he's just saying this because it happens to me now. Like, so if it's happening to me now and I have whatever name, like I feel like my name right now is based on the connections that I made or the
Not just
people meeting.
of who you
It's
are.
not just a house, like I'm not a household name yet. So if I'm saying this now and feel this way now, I don't want people to think I'm changing my opinion when I am a household name, when people do know me outside of who I am. Like when people know me as Bakari, the artist, versus HB or whatever the fuck I'm calling it right now. Does that make sense? And people still get mad at that.
People are gonna get mad regardless, because that's just what they like. If people wanting something and knowing that they can't have it is gonna make them mad, there's no discipline there. And it's kind of like, if you want this, then work for it yourself.
Also, I have a question. Why do women feel
Entitled?
Oh, why do women care so much what other people think? Like half of the time, women's decisions are that's too broad. I won't say women. Why do people in relationships care too much what people think? Like, they carry themselves different in a relationship based on what they think the world thinks their relationship should look like. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, that's why I don't post people on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever social media people are using, because it's all a perception game. Everybody has problems in every relationship. Pretty couples, rich couples, people where you look at their IG and you're like, damn, I want that. Everybody got problems. So it's kind of like you're not gonna put that on social media. It's a highlight reel. So now you're like placing expectations on how things are supposed to be, or even like it'll do something bad for your relationship if your girl sees people doing that shit and now they want you to do that and be that type of couple. Like, I'm not about to be no fucking TikTok couple just because you saw somebody else doing that shit. No, I don't even like being on social media anyway.
That's funny that you said that. I didn't have social media until I started doing music.
Same. It's not really like necessary. All of the people that I know I talk to on my phone. I don't have to like see what you're doing on IG. You just FaceTime me.
And
like,
then following. I don't follow anybody. And the first thing somebody says about me not following anybody is, why don't you follow anybody? What do you think, you're better than this?
I got self-conscious about how many people that I was following, so I spent the other day purging. I went from like 1,000 something people to like 500, and I have been refreshing the list every day to see who else I can unfollow, based off of like if the content doesn't serve me or inspire me in any way, because that's how I'm looking at it. Like, if I'm not posting on there and I'm scrolling and I'm looking at shit, if it's not anything that's gonna inspire me to get in the mood or like help me be more productive, and I'm just looking at somebody baking a cake or some dumb shit like that, it's kind of like,
I'm the opposite. The reason I don't follow anybody is because I don't want to be
influenced
by anybody, anything that anybody else is going on. I don't want to be subconsciously influenced by trendy. I don't want to be blah, 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 like.
But the stuff that I follow would be like architecture. It's not music related shit all the time. There's music pages that I follow where it's like people giving you tips on how to do stuff, but it's just showing you how to use certain things. Like, hey, this is how you use this plugin, or this is how you make this effect.
That's what YouTube's for, though.
YouTube is good for that, yeah.
So what the fuck do I need to follow somebody to see that for?
It's just a faster way to do it. You're watching a 30-second video instead of scrolling through a 10-minute video. And they get straight to the point. It's like short form content. Which they have on like YouTube Shorts now, but not so much on the music side of things. It's more so for like, other shit.
How you feel about incorporating your family? Like, for example, Yachty talks about having a kid, having a daughter, all that, but he never shows, never says anything about her. Like, he just recently said her name.
I think that's smart. I believe in nepotism. Like, white people get to do it. Why the fuck can't we? Before they even have the chance. Because what if your kid's introverted as fuck and they don't even want to be like, you know what I mean? Let's say you're like a fucking red carpet Will Smith type. You know what I'm saying? Will and Jada lucked out with their kids. 9 times out of 10, your kids are, if you're rich fucking,
No, that's a prime example of Will Smith, because his oldest kid didn't want anything to do with the fame of his spotlight or anything.
Yeah, and he backed out.
From it.
But he also wasn't doing with him what, like, at that young tender age of like 5, you know what I'm saying, or whatever age Jaden was, where he had him in Pursuit of Happiness. What?
I just had it up.
Like what? I'm saying at a young.
I just don't know why you said it like that.
At a young vulnerable age.
No, just say young. Just say being young. You're tripping.
As a 5-year-old boy, right? You don't have the say so in whether or not you want to be in a movie necessarily. Like, you can say you don't want to do it, but ultimately that comes down to your parents' character and whether or not they care if you want to or not.
Joe Jackson.
Well, he beat his kids into greatness. That was different.
And
that particular situation, I believe, was written in the stars, because the entire family was talented. Like, something was gonna happen regardless if he was beating them or not. He sped up the process. If anything, we wouldn't have had the Jackson 5. We might have just had Michael and Janet.
That's fine. You think that's a problem? Was that a downfall?
No, it's not. No, I'm just saying.
We might
like,
have had the 2 biggest ones. Like, okay, that's fine.
You don't fuck with Tito or Jermaine?
No. I could not tell you a single solo.
I have like
project.
2 Tito Jackson vinyls. I feel like.
That's because you're bored.
No, I was like record shopping and I was trying to see what that shit.
So you
was
went there for Tito Jackson.
It was in the dollar section.
My point.
Record shopping, I only shop in the dollar section for my vinyls because I'm getting like 15 to 20 and niggas ain't rich. So then I go, and sometimes I don't have time, so I won't look, and I'll get home and I'll be like, oh shit, Tito Jackson. I look at the year on the back of it. I don't even look at the band name anymore. I look at the year on the back of it and
Lindsay
the genre.
Renee here with this
The
Tito
instruments,
Jackson.
the year, and the genre. That's it. That's all you need. Anybody that's record shopping, any record of your local record shops, if you're trying to like find some shit to sample, go by the year, the instrumentation on the back, whatever. If you want to go deeper, the producers, whoever's involved in it, and then what genre of music it is. That's all you need
Completely
to know.
unrelated question.
What?
How do you feel about celebrity crushes? Are we allowed to have them or are we not?
Are we allowed to have celebrity crushes?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody. Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so if we're in a relationship, we can still have a celebrity crush?
Yeah.
Okay. Are our girlfriends allowed to have celebrity crushes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked this because I had a conversation and I was like, okay, so if I do have a celebrity crush and I come across said celebrity crush and I have a name of my own when I come across this person, how would my significant other feel about me coming across this person after voicing that they're my celebrity crush? I think any crush on any human being and you're in a relationship should be
Secret.
not secret. Secret is wild.
Best kept secret.
It'd be the same as saying, oh, I think I have a crush on this person. That's not it. You know what I mean?
Yes, but most people don't think that you're going to ever meet that person.
Okay, that's not a good reason to.
And if you met said person, well, most people probably just don't want to be left, and that's what the insecurity is. So it's like, you're not going to leave me for this nigga because fucking Margot Robbie's not going to stop what she's doing for me. Even though she might. You never know. But that's what people be saying. Like, if I told somebody, my celebrity crush is Emmy Rossum, who is Fiona from Shameless, if nobody knows, right? And I run into her, and I'm like, first of all, how would you even approach a celebrity if you're a nobody? Are you gonna do the same riz that you would do on some like regular ass person?
Nobody. What do you mean no? That's a mindset though.
A mindset in terms of what? Like being a nobody?
Yeah. Like
I don't feel like I'm a nobody. I'm saying from the perspective of the fucking celebrity. They don't know who you are, so you are a nobody to them. The same way any stranger on the street is a nobody.
But that's a good point. That good point that you just made.
It's from
They
the
don't know who you are.
perspective.
They
Yeah,
don't know who
exactly.
you are.
So you gotta.
Your
How do you
point
give
is-
off that impression of wanting them to be interested in getting to know you more without you having anything to offer them? Because most people, if you don't have nothing to offer
If
them,
it's not
they're
an
too busy.
elitist, then they don't care if you're famous or not.
Well, that's a dangerous game you're playing.
That's what I'm saying.
because
It's a,
those people could have egos up their ass.
but you don't know until you have a conversation with them.
That's true.
If you don't go on them on the type of time of, hi, I'm a fan. Hi, blah,
I
blah.
for sure would try my luck, especially if I'm single. Like, I'm trying my luck.
I don't know if you would.
And what tells you that?
I just don't know.
You're crazy.
I don't think you would.
And why is that?
I just don't think you would. Next.
I need a reason
Next
why. You
question.
can't just say you don't think I would. I need a reason.
I was about to say-
Do not share your significant other's social media page and don't make a joint account, because there's a lot of sick people on the internet that are going to try and ruin whatever the fuck you have going on. And there's no point in having the confusion in your
Say
life.
it like that. It's so politically correct. There's a lot of sick people. There's a lot of.
I was being funny. You know, when people are like, be careful, there's a lot of crazies out tonight. Like that. Because, like,
Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. The reason I was saying that, the Chris Brown meet and greets. How do you feel about him?
I think I know what he's doing.
He's a marketing genius.
Yeah, paid. You're already paid to be there. Like, that's like weed money. That's like pocket change for that nigga. That's for him to get some cigarettes and some Black Pyramid. Anyway,
Why would he have to pay for his own shit? Anyway, it's going right.
I'm just making fun of his brand. Anyway,
Making fun of it is wild.
when's the last time you saw somebody wearing it?
Nigga, I wear it. It's tattooed.
I haven't seen you wear it in 2 years.
It's tattooed on.
What's your favorite brand?
Playboy.
Of all time?
Mhm.
Playboy?
Mm-hmm. The aesthetic of it, the idea of it, the history of it. Playboy.
Give me some history on that.
I want to.
On why Playboy's your favorite. You know why? You guys know why it's his favorite?
For whatever reason.
Because they sell it at PacSun.
What the fuck? You're funny. What's your favorite brand, bitch ass nigga? Fucking Thrasher?
No, my favorite brand might be Vans. Because I like how they market their stuff. And I think that every like 5 years they rebrand themselves. They might change the logo. They always have good artists that they sponsor. And like, you know, skateboarders, BMXers, all that shit. And it's like the perfect, like Vans will do a thing where they'll have like a skate show, but it's also like a fashion show to show off their products. But it's in like a Vans warehouse. And there might be people performing as well. So it's like shit like that where like different art forms intersect. I like brands like that. The first time I did psychedelics, I had an ego death because I took too much. It wasn't like some grand, you know how motherfuckers be like, oh man, it was so beautiful. No, nigga, I was in hell for 4 hours, 4.5 to be exact. And it was a very traumatic experience, and I'll never be the same because of it. But what I did learn during that was like I had this whole idea of myself where it was kind of like I've always felt like I'm meant to do great things. And
I kind of want to do a tab.
A tab?
It's been 2 years.
Yeah, same for me. Yep.
Okay, so my first time doing... Let's talk about that. How do people feel about psychedelics? And the reason I'm asking is because everybody seems so... I feel like...
Mostly black people, but yeah.
Everybody seems so trendy when it comes to things like, oh, this is bad, blah, 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 until it's trendy.
Until it's cool.
Yeah, until it's cool.
Like acid is still kind of has like a bad name, but shrooms, on the other hand...
That's why I was going to bring up shrooms.
Shrooms is the new Casamigos.
But talk about shrooms like it's fucking weed or something. Like,
That's,
oh, yeah, I microdose. I do blah, blah.
I
like,
love
nigga,
shrooms.
it's a psychedelic. Like, what do you mean? Like, and then when you say acid, it's the same effect. Maybe
it's a longer lasting effect. That's it.
Amplified, but it's like, but shrooms come from the earth and blah, blah, like.
All the shit that they use to make acid also comes from the earth too. So that whole like argument doesn't make sense to me. Because you're still like, you still have to grow it a certain way for it to be shrooms. There's hella mushrooms that grow on the side, but some of that shit's poisonous, and if you eat it, you're dead. So.
I took acid the first time. And I don't know how to describe my experience. I wrote a full project on it. I wrote all of Intoxicated off acid, hence the name Intoxicated. The first song is Intoxicated Intro because it was like the realization that I was not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like the shit you see in movies, like the cartoons going to run around and all that shit. Like, it was not. It was more of like, you can hear, taste, and you can see sound, or you can, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely can see sound. It just...
I was like, what the... And, okay, so, you know those, like, when you paint the ceiling, and then the paint, while it's drying, like, creates that, like, crunch bar effect on the back of it, or on the ceiling. So, that whole time, it looked like it was dripping. And then the carpet looked like it was like waving, like a wave. And I thought I was well, obviously I was tripping, but
everything's
like,
breathing too. Like the TV will be
like you see
breathing like a human.
And then everything has a hue. Like I had a hue of red around me, and my jawline. You
see
was
the
so
outline.
defined.
Cartoons look terrible. You can see all of the like if you watch like the first season of like Family Guy or some old like Simpsons or some shit, you can see like the outlines and all of like the pencil marks and shit. It's crazy.
And then these niggas were watching Eric Andre, and that was my first time ever watching it. And it was the Bird Up episode. So if you want to go, I don't know what episode or what number we'll put it in here, but that whole episode was just screaming repeatedly, "Bird up, bird up, bird up, bird up," and it was like random. I
snail down.
Yeah, snail down. When they said snail down, I swear to God, I sunk into my seat. I was like, like what the fuck?
Eric Andre is one of them shows that you like. If you want someone to have a bad trip, you play
then
for
that's
them.
all you play. Yeah. Because it's just
chaos the whole time.
Much.
It doesn't make sense, but
Yeah.
it's funny sometimes. But sometimes it's like funny in a way because like it's so uncomfortable.
How do you feel about looking in a mirror while you're tripping?
That's what made my first trip go to shit, was looking in the mirror. Because while I looked gorgeous, I also physically saw all of the things I didn't like about myself internally, if that makes sense. So then I was like, damn, I'm just a fucking human. Like, I'm gonna die one day if I don't leave something behind. Like I was also 18, so like that's another thing. When you do psychedelics, you gotta like be in the right mind state for it. Don't just like do that shit, because I had a lot going on. But the first half of the trip was good. The second half was bad, and then it got good again at the end.
It's weird because I didn't get paranoid. I guess I did actually, because on the drive home, like when I was coming down from it, I didn't know how long it lasted, and I just had to get out of where I was. I was like, I gotta go home. But my son was like a couple months at the time, and he was at home with his mom, and I was on my way there. And when I got there, like on the way there, every light was a red light for some reason, even if it was green. So I was like freaking out, like, do I go, like panicking and shit. And every car was a cop car. Like, I don't care if it was just a normal fucking BMW or just the fucking whatever the car was, it was a cop car in my head. I was like driving so different. I was terrified, but I just had to get out of the situation I was in because I was started having a bad trip. I didn't know what a bad trip was because it was my first time taking it. And I get home and my son wakes up and he's crying. And his mom's like, hey, can you do this? Can you grab a diaper? And everything she was telling me to do sounds simple, but trying to do it
was hard.
I was like, what is happening? I was like, I can't. I was trying to explain to her why I couldn't without telling her why I couldn't.
The last time I did acid, I tried to make a beat and it was so hard. Like, I was stuck. I made something, but it didn't sound good the next day type shit.
I think my last experience with acid was I was tripping. And then I had some news that I might be having a kid and it might be mine, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, fuck.
The girl was at the hospital giving birth, and then her friend was calling me like, yo, please.
You know what's funny? Every time you take it, something that never happens.
Facts.
Every time.
I was like, what are the odds that this is when you call me? And I was sitting in my brother's room like, damn, I wish AJ was in here so he could help explain. Because I was wearing a do-rag, but for some reason the do-rag kept getting wrapped around my neck, and I thought it was choking me. I was like, this do-rag's trying to kill me. AJ, help. He was like, bro, just take it off. So he would take it off of me. And one time, like, he took it from me and hit it, and somehow it got back on my head, and I was wrapped. He was like, nigga, how did you find this do-rag? And I was like, it's choking me. And it wasn't even around my neck anymore. It was just on my head.
Last time I was on acid, I used Rocket League as my anchor. Like, I was holding on to the PlayStation controller and I was just whooping ass in Rocket League, doing 1v1s. And then if I put the controller down, I would start having a bad trip. If I wasn't looking at the screen for like, you know, a majority of the time, I'd start like having a bad trip. So then I just went in the studio and I tried to start making beats by myself because I was like with a group of people. And I was like also having a hard time doing that. And it's almost like instantly tell if someone has bad intentions, and it's just kind of one of them things where it's like
you also have to take it around people that you are comfortable with,
you trust,
because
somebody could
fuck with you the
yeah.
whole trip. That shit would, oh my god,
that shit would ruin it. Yeah.
I never fucked on acid. I never fucked on anything. I
did. I fucked at the end of my trip. I had already peaked. I could not, the whole come up to when you peak, but you know when you're like, all right, you feel it coming down, that's when I fucked. And it was nice.
I've done it.
Drunk sex is it's alright.
Drunk sex is mid.
You know what? Drunk sex is actually overrated because it's sloppy.
I don't like not being in control of what I'm doing.
It's sloppy. What? What you mean in control?
Control,
like you just be making crazy decisions?
No, I'm not that. I mean like in control, like full control. You know when you're drunk, you like can't function the same. Like same shit. Like don't operate heavier machinery.
I don't like not being able to walk in a straight line.
I'm trying to operate my heavy machinery, but I'm drunk, so it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard.
We're gonna do a smoke break.
Smoke break. Join us.
Like and subscribe.
Fuck bitches, get money.
Tuesday.